I have a tattoo from Aušvic. They cut our hair, bald, like this. I was 14 years old when I went into concentration camp.
Your freedom went like that in 1 second, right?
And to me, that means everything, to be free. I guess God is good to me. He wants me to tell the story for everybody.
Good morning, guys. Today we have the great privilege to meet up with a Holocaust survivor. Lusi Jacobs was at the Auschwitz concentration camp at the age of 14. Lusi has very descriptive and strong accounts of what happened at Auschwitz because she was 14. Very few survivors from that experience are still alive here today to tell their stories. We're gonna meet her, I believe, in her apartment, or at least in the waiting room here at this senior assisted living facility. All right, let's do this.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, come in.
Hi, look at you.
Hello, Lucy.
Hello, hello.
Nice to meet you. Can I shake your hand?
Yeah, sure.
All right, my
Nice to
pleasure.
meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Same here. I have a tattoo from Auschwitz. 16,598. I worked in the kitchen, so I got a tattoo.
You don't want to get it removed, or you can't get it removed?
I could, but I don't want to. I want to die with this.
Why?
Because I got it, and it just saved my life, and I'm going to die with it.
The number saved your life.
When I got the number, I was happy, so they won't send me anymore in the crematorium.
Oh, so if you got the number, you didn't get the gas or the crematory?
I was working. I was 14 years old when I went into concentration camp with my mommy and daddy. They separated me from my mommy. My mother went, I had a little sister, 10-year-old. She went with my little sister, and I went to the left. And my mommy went to the right, to the gas chamber. And I'm walking, crying, you know, yelling, "Mommy, wait for me." Little girl. Mommy turned around, but they were pushing her. They said, Los, go, go, go to the crematorium. And I'm walking that street crying between the wires. I didn't know where I was. I didn't know nothing. I got crying after Mommy. Comes a guy, never ever saw him in my life, with striped clothes, with the concentration camp clothes. And he says to me, "Little girl, why are you crying?" I said to him, "Because they pushed me here, and my mommy went there, and I can't talk to my mommy." So he says to me, "Don't cry. How old are you?" I said, "I'm 14. No. Promise me, from now on you are 16. I said, "But I never lied." He says, "Now you're gonna lie." And I never saw him again. He left. Never again in my life, like an angel. That's my parents. That's my mommy and daddy. And over there on the bottom is my family picture. I'm there, a little girl. I'm right in the middle. I'm still crying, walking, until I wind up with a group of older women. Not old ones, older than me, mature women. That they take away their babies, they give it to their mother, and they went on this side to work, and the mother went to the crematorium with the baby.
So if you were 14, you would have went with your mother?
Right.
So they were holding 16 to what age to do the
To
work?
work. They took us into a big building. They cut our hair, bald, like this. All of us. We looked like monkeys. I had long hair down to here. They took away my clothes. They gave us a muumuu dress for one fits for all. They took away my shoes, my good shoes, and they gave me a wooden clogs. I couldn't walk in it. I almost broke my neck. No warm clothes, no nothing. It was March, and it was cold. I tied up all my clothes because I had double double clothes. My daddy said, put on double. In case they take away one, you have another one. My daddy was an animal doctor. We were 7 children.
Okay.
And I'm the only one here now alive. I had them, survived them. 2 brothers and 1 sister. She was not in concentration camp. She was as a Christian in Budapest.
So all your other siblings and your father was also killed at the concentration camp? Auschwitz.
Auschwitz. 1 brother I find when I came home. 1 brother, he survived Buchenwald.
How long were you at Auschwitz for?
I was in Auschwitz for 2 years.
2 years. How did you sleep? Like
animals.
How? Like all on the floor?
No, we had bunks in Auschwitz.
Okay.
In Auschwitz only, in Bergen-Belsen on the floor. In Auschwitz was bunks, wooden bunks, 3 layers, no mattress, no blanket, sleeping like animals.
So every day you were just doing hard work?
Every day hard work. First I was digging in water.
Okay.
We had to turn around the water. It went this way, they wanted to go this way, the water.
You were digging like trenches?
Yeah, and we
Okay,
were
every
in
day.
water up to our...
And you had like SS guys above you telling you to work harder?
SS, watching us. Oh yeah, with dog, with German shepherds.
How did they treat you?
Terrible. If you didn't do the work what you're supposed to, they were beating you. 3 crematoriums was going on day and night, the flame. And they were burning the humans. 3 of them. The smell was horrible because the flame went out and the smell went out.
And your only crime was being Jew?
The only crime because I was Jewish. I didn't do nothing, I was a kid.
Yeah. What gave you hope, like to get through every
To
day?
go through, I talked to God.
You talked to God. Okay.
I talked to my daddy, to my mommy, talked to God. Not once and not twice I wanted to kill myself. Going to the barbed wires and get burned. There was barbed wires all around. We couldn't run away because barbed wires. And a Nazi was on a post, on a top in a little boot.
Yeah.
And they were watching. But if you don't want to live, you just go to the barbed wire and you got killed. You got burned.
Did you see that happen?
Yeah, I saw happen. Plenty people. They didn't want to live no more like that, so they went to the barbed wire and they got killed. Me too. I had my mind put up for that, but God said, no, not your time.
Is there a specific, in those 2 years, a specific story that really sticks out in your head that you can share?
Yeah, hunger.
Hunger. Not knowing when you're getting the next meal, or what?
I couldn't eat that meal. It was garbage.
What'd they feed you?
Like for pigs.
Like just grain or what?
No, they came with trucks and they poured them on the ground. Beets, those beets.
Oh, yeah.
And we cut them up with the sand, with everything, went into kettles.
Oh, yeah.
And they cooked that and then they served that for the people. Once a day, we got served. Once a day.
1 meal a day.
1 meal a day.
What about water?
Water. In the morning, we had chicory coffee. You know what chicory means? Imitation coffee.
So
That's what we had.
imitation coffee and beets. And then you had to work all day.
Yeah.
So you were skinny. How much did you weigh? Like a rail.
Who weighed themselves? Who had a scale?
But everyone looked like this. Huh?
Everyone.
So when you're in it, you have no idea you'll be freed. You
No.
had no idea.
No.
So you're like, this is the rest of my life.
That's right. And I figured if this is the rest of my life, and if I'll get tired, I kill myself.
Did you make friends there? With other prisoners?
With other halflings, they call them.
Half what?
Halfling. That's in German.
Okay.
Partner. I made a friend that we became like lager sisters. You know, she was my age, so we became like two sisters. And we were on the Dead March together, too. I was on the Dead March from Auschwitz to Bergen-Belsen when the Russians were coming closer in January
1945, right?
45, right? They were coming closer to liberate Auschwitz. So they took us, I was the last one in camp because I worked in the kitchen. So they took us on a Dead March to march. They gave us one blanket and then the muumuu dress and the wooden shoes, and we were marching out of Auschwitz because Auschwitz was close to be occupied by the Russians. So they didn't want us to be freed. And wherever was room, they took us to Großrosen. They took us to Buchenwald. There was no room for women, only for men. They were half dead. The men was like flies, they're dying. They couldn't take it. Women is stronger than men. I saw that the first time in my life.
They're stronger physically, mentally?
Yeah. The men sat down, they couldn't walk anymore. They sat down and they got right away a bullet.
So more women survived that
more
than men?
More women,
Interesting.
Right.
So when the Soviets were coming, you looked at them as the liberators, or you didn't know at that time?
We were chased out. We never met the Russians.
Okay. But they had their own bad history with the Jews, too.
Who? The Russians?
The Russians, yeah. They had the
I don't know
pogroms.
Because I wasn't there.
Yeah.
But one thing they did, they raped a lot of girls, too. That they survived, but...
So you do this death march. You get to Bergenov, right?
I did the death march and we tried a few camps. And it was no room for women, only for a few men.
Okay.
So they took off the men and we were still marching. I remember in one city we had Red Cross was there.
Okay.
And they wanted to give us a little food. We were starving.
Yeah.
So they said, you're not allowed to talk, one talk. You're not allowed to ask anything, you're not allowed to open your mouth. So they gave us a little coffee with I don't remember what else. And that was when we were marching. And from there we marched again, and they didn't have room in this camp and that camp for women. So what did they do, the Nazis? They put us on cattle trains. Open wagon, cattle trains, and from there we went to Bergen-Belsen on the train, on the cattle train. I don't remember what city we started, and we went open wagons. It was winter. We were like penguins hugging together because we were cold, no clothes. And we wind up in Bergen-Belsen. Bergen-Belsen, I came off from the train, from the wagon. And when we got into camp, it was a typhus outbreak. That was a camp full with typhus. And I didn't know, but I had a girlfriend that I made as a sister in camp. And I said to her, we're gonna wash up and we're gonna go and see who's working in the kitchen.
Yeah.
We worked in the kitchen. So we did that. Next day we went and washed up and we went into the kitchen. You were not allowed to go in, you could get a beating. So I said, we get a beating, we get a beating. There was the SS, the old SS that we worked for in Auschwitz, in Birkenau. And he says to me, oh my God, the kleine Lusi, the little Lucy is here.
Oh.
He recognized me.
Yeah.
I said, Herr Oberscharführer, that means, you know, big person. I said, can I come back to work? Please, please, I don't want to sit. There was no bunks, only on the floor.
Yeah.
Nothing, just on the floor, not even wooden floor, cement. So I said to my girlfriend, we're gonna die here. We survived all that. and we're going to die here because there is no bed, there is typhus outbreak. So we wind up working in the kitchen a little until I got sick typhus myself.
Oh, jeez. Do you remember the SS officers? Do you remember their faces and
Yeah.
how they looked?
They were older because they couldn't send them on the front.
Yeah.
So they send them to concentration camp to watch the people.
So you think these are evil people or brainwashed people or what kind of
Brainwashed.
people? They're just brainwashed.
Brainwashed.
So
Brainwashed.
anybody can become brainwashed?
Yeah.
So anyone could be an SS officer?
Anyone could be an SS.
If they're put into fear enough and manipulated enough?
Brainwashed. They all were brainwashed. And they did their job.
So they thought they were doing the right thing?
Sure.
Did you feel at this time you knew the war was ending? Because you're getting moved around a lot?
No, because we were still with the Nazis.
Okay. And then when the war ends, it's just like one day you're let free? How does that work?
Sweetheart, I was
Yeah.
sick, typhus.
Yeah.
I was in the hospital
Okay.
when we became free. And they shook me because I was half dead. Don't die, we are free. I didn't pick up my head. After a few days, they had to teach me how to walk. I couldn't walk.
Because you're so sick. And then once you could
They
walk...
took me to a hospital from the floor because I was half dead. They find me half dead, the British, when they occupied Bergen-Belsen.
What was your actual age then? 16?
Yeah.
So on the records you were 18, but you were 16.
Yeah, right. I would be 16, they would never marry me in Czechoslovakia. You had to be 18.
You
So
got
I
married
was-
right away.
I had to, I had no home.
You met a man?
Nobody to feed me.
How'd you meet the man?
Through my uncle.
Okay.
They were together in the army, officers. And he knew him. He was 20 years older, but just married
He
me.
was 36.
Yeah. That I have a home.
Yep.
He was already in business. And he had a home. He never was married. So he was 20 years older.
Did you get along okay?
Yeah, he was an older man. He was very jealous of me.
Oh, really? You were a very attractive young woman, I bet.
After, not right away, after I came to myself, I guess I was attractive and he was jealous.
Yeah.
20
So-
years is a lot of years in between.
So you went from a very horrific situation to another difficult situation.
Right, but I had no choice.
Yeah.
I had nobody to feed me. I wanted to go back to school to finish my school.
Okay, did you?
No.
You didn't go?
I couldn't. I had nobody to feed me, nobody to take care of me.
But once you got married, did you go back to school or no?
No.
Okay.
I went to work.
You went to work.
He had a business and I went to the business every single day. Even when I was pregnant with him, I went every day to business.
So what was culture like that then in Czechoslovakia? It's 1946, on the streets, the war ends. Is there everyone trying to forget it?
No.
Is there a lot of tension on the streets with people?
No,
different
I
people,
will
or-
never forget it in my life.
Of course you won't forget it, but I'm saying, what was the feel like?
It was
were
a
people-
normal life.
It was normal life.
Yeah. Czechoslovakia was then a normal life. I mean, my husband was in the army, was an officer. He had a store, he had an apartment. He was,
Did they accept the Jews then?
yeah,
It was like nothing happened.
nothing happened. The war was over.
How long did you stay there, Czechoslovakia?
Czechoslovakia, I stayed from 45 till 3 years. We went to Israel in 1948.
Okay.
We closed the store during the night, never went back because the Russian occupied, marched into Czechoslovakia.
Yeah, yeah.
And we took off. We didn't want to become Russian. I had a baby, a 2-year-old baby, my son, and we took off. We went from Czechoslovakia to Italy. We went to Italy, and Italy, You find a Jewish organization, and we went from Italy to Palestine. It was not Israel yet, it was Palestine.
Yeah. How did you get, you went by boat?
By boat. By fair boat, was animal used to ship. The British were just starting to go out, and the Arabs were running away because they were afraid of the Jews. And after that, we became State of Israel. My husband was in the army officer.
Okay.
And I have a book, a reserve book, because I had a child. Mm-hmm. And that's how we started life.
How long did you stay in Israel for?
10 years. 10 years. We had a hard time. We went to Israel when Israel was not Israel yet.
Yeah.
No electricity. We had an Arab.
Hot, huh? So hot.
No electricity.
Yeah.
No water. I had to carry water like from here to the other end. Yeah? If you want to wash clothes, come on.
So...
It was a hard life, very hard life.
Yeah.
And then, after a couple of years, when it became Israel, we had electricity, we had water in the house. I had an Arab apartment. They had no bathroom, just a hall. No toilet. Just a hole in the floor.
So with your experiences...
I went through a lot in my life.
Yeah. No problem seems like a problem now, right?
Thank God, no. I'm an American. I'm free.
Okay.
And to me, that means everything, to be free.
Yeah. So you came to America, did you love it?
I
immediately?
loved it immediately. Because I had a big family here.
Yep.
My grandfather's brothers, my grandfather's sisters, and a big family. So I became here like their angel.
And how has America been to you?
Good.
Good.
Good. I went to work in a factory.
Where?
In New York.
Okay.
In Manhattan.
What factory?
Buttonholes.
So you made the buttonholes?
Buttonholes on uniform for the airline.
So when you were at work, having a manufacturing job, right? You're doing manual labor, and then your coworkers might complain, "Oh, this is so hard and difficult." You're like, "No, I got a story that's hard."
I had to work because I had to make a living, and I had to pay my rent.
Yeah.
My rent was almost $100, $99 a month, and I had to work 2 weeks for that.
But it was easy compared to what you've been through, right?
Of course.
It was nothing.
Of course, nothing. America, God bless America. I was free to, but the subways killed me.
The subways? You don't like the subways?
No, not once and not twice a man relieved himself on me.
Oh, yeah.
And the subway like sardines. Yeah. I hated the subways.
So you've lived in New York? You've lived in Florida?
Yeah, I lived in Bronx, in the Bronx.
In the Bronx?
Yeah, on Jerome Avenue.
And you lived in Florida?
And I lived in Florida.
Where else?
Las Vegas.
And you came here because you love gambling, or why?
No, I don't like to gamble.
It was a bad
I'm not
dream.
a gambler.
Why did you come here to Las Vegas?
Because of my son.
Okay.
I lost my daughter. I had a beautiful daughter. She was a young girl. She lost her husband. He was 50, and she was 40. She lost her husband. When she lost her husband, she decided to sell everything out in New York and come to live near me in Florida. Mm-hmm. But God took her. She got sick. We were very close with each other. She got sick and she passed away on me.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're very young. And I decided, my son decided for me that if I'm, right after the funeral, he brought me here to his apartment. Mm-hmm. He lived on the Strip and talked to me, sat down with me. I was very depressed. Mom, I find the place is gorgeous. It's clean, it's new. You're gonna meet people, you're gonna mingle. You're not going to be alone in the house. So I thought about it. I said, look, I only have one child left, my son. So I made my decision. I gave up everything there, sold everything out there, and moved down to Las Vegas.
What would you have to tell young Americans that haven't gone through, well, really any American hasn't gone through the experiences you went through? What would you have to tell them? What could you let them know?
They have to be good to their parents, and they have to appreciate America.
Yeah.
It should never happen to them what happened to me.
Yeah.
They should be good and appreciate that they're here and they're free. They have freedom. Communism.
If someone has only known freedom their whole life, they don't know anything else.
They don't appreciate.
Right, like anything.
No.
You don't know. You don't know.
No. They think it's coming to them. No, it's not.
But in your life, your freedom went like that in 1 second, right?
It was tough life for me. So I appreciate every day what I got. I thank God every single day. Just keep me here as long you keep my brains.
And you're doing very well.
Where my brains are going, I want to go.
Okay.
I want to go back to New York. I'm going to be buried in New York.
You're going to be buried in New York.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're almost 95.
I'm next month going to be 95.
And you...
July 15 next month. On my papers, I'm going to be 97.
That's interesting, huh?
Yeah. Thank you for listening to my story.
No, thank you for sharing, because a lot of survivors don't want to talk about it.
People don't want to talk about it,
Yeah.
and a lot of people still don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
So we even. They don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people, they don't want to hear it, but a lot of people want to hear it. I went to a lot of homes to tell my story. In schools, in Catholic school, in Jewish schools. Can you imagine I came to a Catholic school, and the whole ceiling was with planes. The kids made it.
Oh.
And this was a Catholic school. The 6 million Jews were made on the roof.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And made me cry. That the kids from the school made those planes to put them on the ceiling for the 6 million.
No one should ever forget this.
No one.
This
no
story.
one.
Yeah.
Now, on Memorial Day, they showed in the movies, on television, I couldn't believe it.
What
that
happened?
They showed the 6 million people, that they were talking about it. 6 candles were lit. For
6 million.
For the 6 million.
So you were glad that they were doing that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say, Lucy? Anything else you want to share?
You are a wonderful person.
Oh, thank you.
And thank you so much. And God bless you. And
God
nice
bless you.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Lucy. And thank you for speaking
just be healthy.
Up. Okay.
And I tell you, this is the biggest, what God should give you health, what you're doing.
Okay.
To interview me and listen to my story.
Thank you, Lucy.
God bless you.
God bless you. Hugs?
Mwah.
Okay, guys, quite, what do you say? I don't know what you say to that. None of us will ever get it unless, you went through something like that, which there are only a few living to this day that have gone through that experience. So, well, we got to thank Lucy for sharing that story with us. And I'm sure it's not fun to revisit, to think about her family and what happened. And I mean, what a horrific life story. But considering it's quite impressive that she's doing as well as she is at the age of 95. What a nice, wonderful woman. All right, guys, thanks for coming along. Until the next one.